With the upcoming MCDM RPG getting rid of fixed initiative order, and Critical Role's Daggerheart getting rid of initiative completely, it made me wonder how we arrived at the 5th edition initiative system, and could it be better? Thank you to Describe for sponsoring this video. Welcome to the table. I'm Kelly, and Oh, sorry. No, sorry, you go. And I'm gonna get rid of fixed initiative order in my campaign. What could go wrong? Initiative in 5th edition is pretty simple. Everyone rolls a d20, adds their dex modifier, and then everyone takes their turn in order from highest to lowest result. The upcoming MCDM RPG works a little differently. In its current state, one player rolls 1d6 for the side of the players, and the game master rolls 1d6 for the other side. Whichever side rolls higher gets to go first. The winning side will choose a creature to go first. After their turn is finished, the other side will choose a creature to take their turn. From there, the turns are staggered between the two sides. Any creature that takes a turn can't take another turn until a new round begins. That's pretty different than 5th edition initiative, but not that different from earlier editions. Did you know that original D&D didn't have initiative at all? The first edition of D&D, aka Original D&D, written by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson, was published in 1974. Actually, let's retire to the study. That's better. The game used the combat and initiative system from a miniature wargame called Chainmail, written by Gary Gygax and Jeff Perrin. You had to own and be familiar with Chainmail in order to play D&D. In Chainmail, combat was broken down into movement and attack. To determine who moves first, one player rolls 1d6 for the side of the players, and the game master rolls 1d6 for the other side. Sound familiar? Then whichever side rolled higher goes first, and every creature on that side takes its movement. Then all creatures on the other side take their movement. Every round, there's a new roll and the movement initiative changes. If a creature enters attack range, it gets very complicated, and the person that attacks first depends on weapon classes and terrain, and then the other creature might get a counter attack depending on their situation, but it was a war game after all. In 1977, a revised version of original D&D was released, designed to be more beginner friendly. It was called the Dungeons & Dragons Basic Set, written by John Holmes. This would be later known as the Holmes Edition. Holmes introduced the idea that initiative was based on dexterity. If two creatures come within 10 feet, the creature with the higher dexterity strikes first. If the dexterity scores are within 2, both creatures roll 1d6. The creature with the higher result strikes first. This automatic initiative didn't last long though. Advanced D&D was released that same year, and it would become the main branch of D&D, while the basic set would eventually be discontinued. Advanced D&D, just like its name suggests, made the game more complicated and introduced a lot of new rules. But the initiative system was surprisingly simple. This is the first time that the concept of the surprise condition is seen. After determining the surprise condition, 1d6 is rolled for each side, and the side with the higher roll gets to decide if they want to go first. What happens after that, once attacks and spells start flying, gets extremely complicated, but we won't go into that. In 1981, a revised version of the basic set was written by Tom Mulvey. They incorporated the 1d6 group initiative check, but they introduced the idea of a turn structure. The side that goes first resolves their turns in the following order, with every creature completing each of these steps before moving to the next step. Morale checks, movement, missile fire, magic spells, and then melee combat. Now we're finally moving away from the d6 roll with the 1989 Advanced D&D 2nd edition. In 2nd edition, each side rolls 1d10, and then the lower result goes first. Are you ready for things to get wild? If there's a tie, all actions happen simultaneously, and attacks and damages are resolved together, meaning two creatures can kill each other with the same attack. Before we find out which edition introduced initiative as we know it today, I want to tell you about all the cool updates to Opus, the music and sound effects tool made by the sponsor of today's video, Describe. Opus has received a ton of updates in the last few weeks, and I'm excited to go through them. But first, for those who are unfamiliar, Describe helps players and DMs by providing a massive library of description text, interactive maps, and now sound effects and music. The description text can be read verbatim or used to spark inspiration. Reading through their descriptions of spell components, locations, and magic items instantly gives me ideas for interesting encounters. Now they've partnered with Michael Gelfi Studios and other renowned composers to create a new music and sound effects tool called Opus. You can create playlists, soundscapes, and sound effects boards, then invite your players and stream the audio directly to them. You can also use Opus with Kenku FM to stream it over Discord. There's music and sound effects for different genres, including fantasy, modern, and sci-fi. In the last few weeks, they've added over 1,000 new tracks, improved the sound effects pad design, added a new now playing bar along the bottom, added automatic fading, and a ton of other fixes and improvements. I've built myself a collection of ambiences for some common locations that my party is often in, and I've been combining those with the pre-built playlists, which are excellent. I've been having a ton of fun playing around with it, and it feels like it's added another dimension to my games. Opus is still in beta, which means that it's getting better every day, but it's already really awesome. If you want to try it out, you can use the coupon code PowerWordSpill at checkout to get an extended 30-day free trial. Head to the link down in the description to check it out. Back to the history of Initiative. 3rd edition came out in the year 2000. D&D dropped Advanced from its name, and things start to feel more familiar. At the beginning of combat, each creature makes a d20 dexterity check. Creatures take their turns in order from highest to lowest result, and there aren't any more simultaneous actions. These rules carried through 4th edition and into 5th edition. There you have it, the complete history of Initiative in D&D. Let's go back to the table. Based on that, it feels like MCDM has taken the best parts of early D&D Initiative and done away with the overly complex parts. The MCDM Initiative also offers a more balanced combat compared to early edition D&D. Group Initiative speeds up combat, but it can really affect the balance of combat depending on who goes first. If the players go first, they could kill a number of the minions before they ever get to act. The alternating turns between the two sides offers a balanced combat, and the freedom of turn order among the sides means there should be more player engagement and strategy. So, was it everything I'd hoped for when I ran it at my table? Should D&D go back to its roots and use a variation of D6 Group Initiative? My players did seem a bit more engaged because they were discussing who should go next, and the strategy piece came into play a little when one of my players went first to melee attack and then move away before another player used an AoE effect. But overall, it wasn't some magical night and day experience. From my side of the screen, I did like being able to choose which monster acted next. It meant I could use my ranged monsters higher in initiative before the players got too close, and I could protect the narratively more important monsters in combat so they were alive longer. Someone made a post on Reddit about their experience running this system in their 5e game, and the post and comment section is filled with lots of potential problems and great solutions for those problems. If you're running into any issues with this system at your table, I'd definitely recommend reading through the post. I've linked it down in the description. One of the most interesting solutions is from u/Cherrybird, who said they've implemented a QB system in their game. Every session there's a designated QB, a player who determines general strategy in combat. The other players are still in charge of their characters and can do whatever they want on their turns, but it's expected that they generally follow the QB's game plan. The solution was proposed to combat one player bossing everyone around, but at my table we have the opposite problem, which is that no one wants to step on anyone else's toes, so this would give each player permission to call the shots week to week. So, should D&D adopt a new initiative system with more freedom? The current initiative system has lasted through 3 editions, so it's probably here to stay. But I would be in favor of moving back to a group roll with staggered initiative between both sides. Rolling initiative for 5 to 10 individual monsters seems unnecessary. For now, we're going to carry on using the MCDM RPG initiative system in our 5e game. Are you going to try it? What's your favorite alternate initiative system? Let me know down in the comments. If you want some more ideas for homebrew rules to customize 5th edition, check out this video here where I go through all my favorite ideas from the comment section, like getting rid of movement speed to make combat more dynamic. I appreciate you.